Hey everybody, welcome to the Jolly Roger. My name's Chef Brian, and today we're gonna make miso soup. Now I have some ingredients here you might not be familiar with, you might be, but these are Asian. I have some kombu, and I have some bonita flakes, which are just real thin shaving of dried tuna, the skin. And then I have some wakame, seaweed. This is gonna go in our soup. These two are to make what's called dashi, which is a Japanese style of stock or broth. And so first, we're gonna get that going because we're gonna just let things soak for a little bit. I also have some mushrooms. I have baby bella mushrooms. Traditionally, you're supposed to use shiitake mushrooms, and everywhere around me didn't have any, so we're just gonna use baby bella. And then when I pick up shiitakes, you can do that if you want. You don't have to use shiitake, just use what you got. Next, green onion. We're gonna use the green parts for garnish, and the whites are gonna go in our soup. And then we have our miso paste, which is in the fridge. I'll pull it out, show you that in a little bit, because we're gonna get our dashi going. I have about 1 ounce of kombu, and this is dried. So we're just gonna put that in, and then I have 6 cups of water. And we're gonna let this soak for 30 minutes, and it's gonna fully hydrate, and then we'll get back to that. While that's soaking, I'm gonna get everything cut up, get everything ready, and I'll bring you back in just a minute. All right, everybody. It's been soaking for 30 minutes. I got you overhead just so you can see how much that expanded and hydrated. We're gonna go ahead and bring this up to a simmer. And once it comes to a simmer, we're gonna take the kombu and we're gonna take it out. Because if you cook it too long, it becomes bitter, and we don't want that flavor. So I'm gonna turn this heat up, and once it comes up to a simmer, I'll remove it, and then we can move on to our bonita flakes after that. All right, everybody. As you can see, we're starting to get little bubbles coming around. I'm gonna go ahead and remove this kombu, and we're gonna bring the rest of this up to a boil. And then once it comes to a boil, we're gonna put in our bonita flakes and immediately turn our heat off and let it steep for a good 3-4 minutes. And then that concludes the whole dashi. All right, we've come up to a boil. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut the heat, take the bonita flakes, plop them in. Now we let it sit for a good 3-4 minutes, and then we're gonna strain it. I have a strainer right here with this bowl. All right, it's been a few minutes. We're gonna go ahead and take it. We're gonna strain the bonita flakes out and just return our dashi back to our pan. Now what we want to do is we're going to bring this up to a boil, and then we're going to start adding our ingredients for our soup. One thing I wanted to mention was about this miso paste. It's just fermented soybean paste. You can get it at an Asian market. They make 2 different types. Well, technically 3, but they have a red one, and the red one is more potent, has more flavor, it's more fermented, so you get a lot of that flavor. I'm not a big fan of the red one. They do make one in between. It's called a yellow. It's just a mixture of white and red. That one, you might want to give that a try. This one is the white. This is the mildest flavor, if you would. And that's what we're using today, is the white. So now you know a little bit more about miso. Our first thing that we're going to throw in is going to be our ingredients that are going to take the longest to cook. So I have my whites of my green onion, and then I have our wakame. It's just a dried seaweed that they use. And then after that will be our mushrooms. And then I did want to make a point, if you like tofu, you're welcome to add tofu in this. Traditionally, that's what they do. I'm not a big fan of it, so I just don't add it and just do the onions and mushroom. So when this comes up, bring you right back, and we'll start throwing everything in together and have a soup in a few minutes. We're up to a good simmer, so I'm just gonna go ahead and add in our green onion, the white part. I'm gonna add our wakame. That's gonna rehydrate and give that just a couple of minutes. And I did forget to mention one ingredient, and that's gonna be soy sauce. We're only gonna use about a teaspoon and a half for this. It's just there to add a little bit of more umami flavor. So give this a couple of minutes, we'll stir, and next we'll be adding in our mushrooms and then our miso paste. And the way we're gonna do our miso paste is I have a little strainer right here. This, if you put it in whole, you're gonna have a really hard time breaking it all apart. So what we're gonna do is run it through a little sieve on top of the water, and that's gonna help break it up. It's a good time to do it now. Gotta use my hand for this one. All right, we are up to a boil. So I'm gonna go ahead and start adding my miso. I turned down the heat to low. You see how it's clumping up? It's really hard to mix in. That's why we're doing a strainer. And then our last tablespoon. All right, our miso paste is added. It's looking like a good color. We're gonna add in our soy sauce. And that's it. All we have left is our green onions that we're going to use as garnish. And I'm gonna get this plated up. Everything's done. I am gonna be honest, I added about another teaspoon of soy sauce to this just to give it a more balanced flavor. My wife's gonna come in and taste test this with me because, you know, she thinks I'm gonna lie to you. I don't think she thinks that, but.
No, I'm just hungry.
Explains the shirt. Mm-hmm. Much better than the last one. Mm-hmm. And even using baby Bella mushrooms, it works out perfect. Mm-hmm. You don't need shiitakes. They are. Shiitakes are very expensive. So, anyway, that's our miso soup. I hope you enjoy it. Try it out. Also, leave a like, comment, share, subscribe, you know, the usual YouTube stuff. So, all right, take care.